Hey! But this is Zacchaeus. What not a live word of the day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. But on today's episode, I entitled it, Who was Shane Tamura? Now, last Monday was carnage, mayhem in New York City. There was a man named Shane Tamura who walked into a place in New York City, into a building, drove all the way from Las Vegas, and entered the building claiming lives with a revolver. Now, according to this article, the gunman in Manhattan shooting on Monday was identified as Shane Devon Tamura, a 27-year-old from Las Vegas. He drove to New York City and entered the 345 Park Avenue building where he fatally shot four people, including an off-duty police officer, before taking his own life. Tamura had a documented history of mental health issues. Now, he written a three-page letter. He had medication on him, and he carried around walked around with a revolver. And it's scary to see somebody that's a civilian, no uniform, no uniform on them, no police uniform on them, walk around with a revolver and broad daylight in Manhattan. Now in New York City, it's very illegal to walk around with guns, just open like that, and a long revolver. Imagine that, a scary sight to behold. And according to the sources, he played high school football, and there's no story of him ever playing college football. But he played high school football for Southern California, and that's the story I have. As it gets more into the story, I guess we learn. But um, Shane Tamara is no longer here. He took claim his own life. But who was Shane Tamara? Who he was, and why he did what he did? Who was he, and why he did what he did? Who was Shane Tamara?
Hey, we're here with standout running back Shane Tamura from the Granada Hills football team. Big 35-31 victory against Kennedy tonight. The battle for Granada Hills. Shane, just talk about you guys getting that win tonight. How'd you guys come through?
We definitely had to stay disciplined. We were down 10-0. We definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coach kept saying, "Don't hold your heads down. Don't hold your heads down." Just had to stay disciplined and come together as a team.
Shane, a couple of touchdowns for you, including a huge one late in the game there in the fourth quarter with under 4 minutes.
You don't know what could be going on in the minds of people. And as you can see, he was a star football player in his high school in Southern California. And at time he's 27 years old, and he lived in Las Vegas. And but Shane was mentally ill, and he was on medications. He's on meds. But I want to know a few things, like where was his parents? Who was his parents? What was his surround? Who lived with him? And did they see any signs? Um, these are all things that's not um revealed yet, but it's interesting to find out why he did what he did, and, he just targeted the NFL. You know, some of us have dreams of getting when we do so well in something, and when we like it, and we have a passion for it, we have dreams of making that a career. And in Shane's mind, he wanted the NFL. He wanted to, I guess, be in the NFL. But I want to know, who did he live with during these last years? Who did he surround himself with? And if they seen any signs of mental illness? And so I have some details here. I'm going to share the news article on the lives he claimed, and sad, sad. You never know. That's why I'm a big advocate of prayer. You never know what somebody's thinking. You never know what's going to be your last day. We don't know. Things can happen anywhere. This is why we have to pray. So I'm going to get into detail on the news article that I have right now.
New Yorkers are mourning the loss of 4 people killed in last night's mass shooting. As they held a vigil in Midtown, investigators released some more information about the shooting, including why the gunman reportedly targeted this building in Midtown. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Tonight, police officers escorting the body of Officer Didarul Islam as mourners pay their respect to the victims of the New York City shooting. Security guard Alon Etienne, Julia Hyman, a graduate of Cornell who worked for Rudin Management, Wesley LePatner, an executive at the investment firm Blackstone, and Officer Islam, serving the NYPD for 3.5 years.
So
He was
sad.
doing the job that we asked him to do. He died as he lived, a hero.
The investigation underway as to why 27-year-old Shane Tamura entered the lobby of a New York City office building Monday night, immediately opening fire, then going up an elevator to continue his rampage.
Just
in all,
never
killing
know.
4 people and injuring a 5th. ABC's Aaron Katursky speaking with New York City's Mayor Eric Adams.
This individual had one intention, and that was to take the lives of innocent New Yorkers.
Authorities now believe Tamura targeted the headquarters of the National Football League because the shooter thought he suffered a traumatic brain injury. Sources tell ABC News the shooter left a 3-page note blaming the NFL for his traumatic brain injury, saying on this page obtained by ABC News, "Study my brain, please. I'm sorry." Although Tamura never played in the NFL, he played high school football in Southern California and was last residing in Nevada when he drove across the country. Police say the shooter had a documented mental health history. When officers searched the car, they said they found medication along with a legally purchased .357 caliber revolver, ammunition, and 2 cell phones. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, this one's still developing. We'll keep you updated on air and online, and you can stream our coverage.
My deepest condolences to the families who lost loved ones in this carnage, in this horrific tragedy. Man, as I shared the news article, he written a 3-page letter stating that he's on medications, he's on meds, something he had to go due to the brain damage, and he targeted the NFL. Now, yeah, there was 4 people that were killed in a shooting Monday evening inside a New York City building. The gunman used a high-powered rifle. Where did he get it from? High-powered rifle to open fire in Midtown Manhattan skyscraper. Later died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds. So he's no longer here. He took himself out. Shane is no longer here. New York City police officer was among them that was killed in the shooting. Yes, officer from Bangladesh. In addition to 3 other people, officials also said a man was hospitalized in critical condition. So may have 1 survivor, but yeah, RIP to those who lost their lives in this tragedy. And as the story unfolds, you get more insight of the story, and it's sad. This is why I emphasize in getting to know Jesus Christ, getting to know the Lord, because day by day, we never know what the day may bring. We never know what could be lurking around the corner. We never know what danger is coming to us. That's why I always pray for God's protection over myself, over my family, friends, extended friends, also your co-workers, because you just never know. People regular going to work on a Monday morning, normal going to work on a Monday morning, daily routine, and they never knew what was going to be their last. You're going to work on a regular Monday morning, as a routine. Monday morning, most people go to work if you have a job, and as a regular routine, not knowing that's going to be your last. No, the mental health population has exploded everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not just one part of the world, it's everywhere. Yes, Data indicates that the prevalence of mental health illness, particularly in Pacific age groups and during Pacific periods, has increased in recent decades. This includes a rise of the numbers of adults experiencing mental illness, as well as increased rates of mental distress, suicidal thoughts, and among young adults and adolescents. So we gotta be vigilant out there. If you see somebody walking around with a rifle, if you see somebody, you gotta say something. Because I'm sure there were people out there when they to see this man walk around with a long pointed rifle walking into a building. Um, when you see something strange, that's out of the ordinary, that's not normal, you gotta say something. You gotta dial that 911. Um, you gotta pray. You gotta practice, make it a habit to pray. You gotta make it a habit to, because there's crazy people out there, man. You're going into a building, you're going into a crowd, you never know what's gonna transpire. You're going to concerts, you never know what's gonna transpire. You go to concerts, you go to major events, you never know what's gonna transpire. You go to your place of work and it's usually populated where you work, you just don't know what's gonna transpire. So we have to pray and make it a habit to pray. When we step into that job, we make it a habit to pray. Pray every day. When I pray, I get up in the morning. The first thing I do is I pray. I pray that for the protection of my coworker, for myself, for my family that's away from me from the moment, and I also pray for the coworkers and staff, students and faculty members. You have to, because there's mental health issues, illness is off the roof. It's a lot of things that trigger mental health. A lot of things. I can't even pinpoint just one thing. And it's off the roof, y'all. And this is why you have to make it a habit to pray. Advocate making prayer. Grab your family member's hand and pray and ask God for protection. You have to in this day and age, because you're not, it's like fair game. It's like fair game. Anything can go down, anything can happen. So you have to pray, and this is time to seek the Lord. It's time to seek God and stop playing games. Stop. It's just, we're living in these times where it's worse than the Wild Wild West. People walking into anywhere and just pulling out and firing. Now, there's a saying that goes, if you see something, say something. Don't just see something that looks not normal and don't say anything, because you could be saving a life. You could be saving a life. This man, Shane Tamura, walked broad daylight with a long revolver rifle. He had on no police uniform. He had nothing. No police uniform. I believe some dark shades, and just walked in and got busy. So, and we just got to be vigilant, be aware of your surroundings, just be open. Don't just stay glued to your phone, and just stay open, and just be aware of your surroundings and what's going on, because you just don't know what's going to happen the next hour or the next minute or the next day. So always be vigilant, always be alert, be alert, and be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, because we're living in this time, y'all. We gotta pray. Now, the live word of the day is coming out of Psalms 121:8. Pray for your coming and your going. Pray for your coming in and pray for your going out. You gotta keep praying, y'all. The Bible says pray without ceasing. Pray for your protection. Pray for your family's protection. Pray for your loved ones. Your family, that means you, including yourself, your loved ones, your co-workers, staff and faculty. Yo, pray, just keep praying, man, because before you go out there, you pray, because you never know what the next day may bring. You never know what the next minute may bring. That's why I'm a big advocate of prayer. But this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Peace and blessings. Until next time.